Assalamu alaikum. Faisal, nice to see
Walaikum
you. How
assalam,
are
Umar.
you?
Not too bad at all, Alhamdulillah, Umar. How are you doing?
Excellent. Very excited to get you on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening if you're in Pakistan. Good morning if you're anywhere else, and good afternoon if you're slightly further behind. We are very honored here today to have with us Faisal Sheikh. He is the CEO of a startup called Jack of Digital, and the reason that we're very excited today to talk to Faisal, although Faisal is always an exciting person to talk to, the reason that we're especially excited today is because Faisal's young agency has recently been awarded the ad reseller contract for TikTok in Pakistan. So, yay! Well
Thank
done, guys.
you.
Now, I I know that everyone is dying to hear this story and how you got to it, but we have to milk this a little bit. So, Faisal, before we start talking about TikTok and your plans for Jack of Digital, can you talk us through your entrepreneurial journey because it's been quite a checkered one. I've seen you in different guises along the way, and I'd love for you to just help our audience to understand where you're coming from to get to this point.
Okay, so thank you, Umar, for having me over tonight. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So, wherever you might be. The journey, okay, I have a checkered past. That's how I'd like to call it because I've done a lot of things. Interestingly enough, did not start my career in marketing or communication. I started my career in with Siemens, an engineering company run by engineers, and nobody really cared about anybody who had a business degree. And it took me a grand total of 6 months to escape. And the first job I could find out after that was with an advertising agency, and that's how I started my career with marketing and communication.
Nice.
Within my first job, what happened was jumped from account management to media planning to media buying, back to account management, and then decided that it was time to see the world out there. Went abroad, spent some time in Canada, video game industry. So that's where part of the entrepreneurial journey started. And this is a formal entrepreneurial journey, right? So burnt all the bridges, decided need to get into something of my own, and got into a video game retail outlet. Spent what almost 6 years doing all that, and then decided enough was enough. Wasn't there enough excitement? The video game business was starting to pale a little bit because of online gaming. Video game consoles were going out, people could buy products online, they didn't really need to come to a store. Got pushed out of this. Some of it was just boredom, and decided to get back into a job. Went into the US, started working for a company out in Orlando, spent about a little over a year, and then moved back to Pakistan. So this is about going back to just the beginning of 2007. Got back into advertising, mainstream, and this is the time when Pakistan was beginning to pick up about digital. So people were talking about it. They wanted to do stuff. Cell phone revolution had happened, so there was no cost for incoming call. When I left Pakistan, there were very few cell phones, and we had still had more landlines than cell phones. And when I came back, we had tons of cell phones with no incoming call cost and a phenomena called missed call. So people were still afraid of making phone calls because it was still a little bit expensive. But coming back, making phone calls, putting the phone off, and this is something that people love doing it, and it gave access to people, the confidence to people to own a cell phone. That it's only the device that's going to cost, and there'll be a minimum monthly cost or minimum call cost that you can incur and still be in touch. And because of that, today, 13 years later, we have what almost 165, 68 million SIMs out there.
Yeah.
Of half of these are connected to the 3G, 4G grid. Okay, that means almost 80 million people are online. And when you have 80 million people online, that's almost maybe 2 or 3 Middle Eastern nations.
No, that's as big as the whole of the Middle East.
That's pretty much as big as whole of it is. Yes, you're right. And what do? They spend time online. Data is very cheap. We are pretty much, I think, second or third cheapest market in terms of data. That's the mean of communication. That's the mean of entertainment. That is also a mean of people connecting to and engaging with content. Okay?
Hmm.
And what's content? Facebook has content. Google, YouTube has content. TikTok has content. Okay? And wherever people go, advertisers follow. Okay?
Yeah.
So paid advertising is the key to making sure the content remains free. So
Hmm.
YouTube is free because the content, because there's advertisers paying for that.
Yeah.
Same thing with Facebook, same thing with TikTok, same thing with Twitter. So everybody needs to make money. It's a business at the end of the day. Whether you're a founder today or whether you're a founder 20 years ago or 50 years ago, there's still a journey that you need to go through. Okay? And if you've been a professional for a very long time, which I had been for almost 13 years now, since coming back to Pakistan, it was a big leap to decide to quit the job security and take in a plunge and say, hey, this is what I need to do. And getting TikTok to come to Pakistan through us, I think is the biggest news that can be. And besides TikTok, we've got a few other races up our sleeve where we are going to be talking
Whoa,
about.
whoa, whoa, hold on. We're
I'm
coming
not
to that.
talking about
Just
platforms that are.
calm down, slow down. Okay, don't just throw it all
Okay,
away.
no
Just calm down
problem.
for a second. All right, so listen, I love the name Jack of Digital. It's a moniker that you've used for many years on different platforms. Can you just help us understand what is the background to Jack?
So you had a part to play in it. It's been a while. So the thing is, it was a moniker that I was carrying in my back pocket, not really putting out in the front, right? So in fact, Omar and I been talking about stuff, and digital is a field you can't know everything. You can only know pretty much jack about it, because it will keep on changing, it will keep on growing, right?
Uh huh. Uh huh.
and and essentially the whole idea was to make it a little bit more fun, at the same time talk about that there's so much more learning out there. The world will keep on changing.
Hmm.
Technology, again, who would have thought that you'd be on the go watching a video or having a video chat with somebody only in James Bond movies, right? You'd be talking into a watch, right? So nobody had thought that this would happen, but stuff happened. We don't know what's
Yeah.
going to happen 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road. How we'll be communicating, the human need for entertainment, human need for communication will remain there. How we'll do it, we still need to wait and see. There are people working on foldable screens now, right? Cell phones with foldable screens. Nobody would have thought, except for some Trekkies, that something like this could happen, right? And things keep on changing, things keeps on evolving. So whole idea behind Jack of Digital was there's no way anybody can know everything about it.
Yeah.
And
No,
and people don't.
one of the
Yeah,
things I
go
love
ahead.
about you is that you have been a perpetual learner about a field, where the field kind of reinvents itself entirely every 3 months.
Pretty much.
So it's uh, it's great that you remain humble and hungry and always focused on learning. Now, I have a very strange question here from Azra, who says, "Ask him about the die." What is she talking about, Faisal?
I have no idea. I don't recall.
Okay, Azra, you need to explain. Please just drop me another comment so that we can actually. I'm very curious as to what it is that you're talking about. Okay, now coming back to okay, so we've got the Jack of Digital scope. You guys have won the ad reseller uh, bid for TikTok. TikTok is massive, massive in Pakistan. It is truly a medium for the masses. There are even programs on TV channels, 60 minutes, 90 minutes a day, that only show TikTok videos.
Yes.
And it really, really showcase the creativity and the genius that is available among the Pakistani population. So
It's
where do you think this is going?
This is the ultimate user generated platform, right? So you can pretty much do whatever you want. It's audio visual.
Hmm.
Okay, you can sing, you can dance, you can cry, you can tell your life story, but you've got 15 seconds to do it. Okay, so you're not boring anybody either. If you're interesting, people will follow you. People will advertise with you. So there's a whole bunch of products that we are bringing into Pakistan with TikTok, which advertisers will have access to, will be able to communicate with the audience that they need to communicate to. They'll be able to figure out who likes what kind of stuff. And if you know who your target audience is, we can help you configure the right product, advertising product for TikTok. So that's the key: targeting, availability, and audience. And we've got all
Okay.
three now for TikTok in Pakistan.
But I mean, up till now, TikTok hasn't really done advertising on its platform, right? So
Okay,
what's going to
TikTok
change?
worldwide, it's been doing worldwide. You can access TikTok as an
I mean,
advertiser.
here in
In
Pakistan.
Pakistan, this is the first time, and this is going to be an official product that you will have access to. There's a whole backend team available that's going to make it possible for you to achieve your advertising objectives. And there's a huge amount of creativity that's available, and we've already got content creators which can help you design the perfect campaign for you.
Interesting. And I imagine that there would be a fair amount of celebrity endorsement, or because I mean, TikTok has its, has its own celebrities that are just they've 6 million followers, 7 million followers. It's quite incredible.
Yes, TikTok's changed the perspective of who the celebrity is. It could be a common person, it could be an
Yeah.
entertainer. As long as people find entertainment, they will gravitate towards the creator of that content. Okay? And they will be actively engaged. They will comment on it. They'll like it. They'll share it, and 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 that becomes a major part of what a brand needs to talk about. Right? So you want to be associated with people who hold popular opinion
Hmm.
and are true influencers.
So I mean, so this is like taking the journey that YouTube started with the democratization of user-generated content, and I mean, YouTube is a much more sort of TV-like medium, if you will. People actually talk about YouTube as a TV channel. In fact, media agencies plan YouTube buying as they do a TV channel. So TikTok is not there yet. The type of content you're going to need, the type of discussion, the type of entertainment value of the content that goes on TikTok will need to be entirely different. Are we ready for that as corporate advertisers, as people who want to reach are we ready for that yet?
Okay, so if you look at the number of followers for some of the celebrities on TikTok from Pakistan, so celebrities are Pakistanis, the followers are Pakistanis. I mean, you have 6, 7, 8 million people following you. You are you are there, right? That's
Hmm.
pretty much it. But for the
Hmm.
advertisers to understand, they need to get into the head of the consumer they're talking to. Is that consumer on TV? Is that consumer on Facebook or YouTube? Or is that consumer on TikTok? And
Hmm.
because of the type of format TikTok offers to advertisers and to users, it makes a lot of difference on how you communicate your message to and how you get through to the audience.
Hmm. So um, Azra actually did explain what she meant, but I've decided not to share what she meant because
Okay.
it's slightly in the personal realm. Um, but on a serious note, she says that she feels old because,
She is
uh,
old.
well, okay, hell, हाँ यार तुम सीधा personal जाते हो यार.
Bilal, I
Listen,
can afford to be,
but
right?
everyone on this side of 40, or pick a number, 45, 50, whatever it is, we're all in the same boat. So the reality is that conventional marketing, the way that a lot of companies approach marketing in Pakistan, is very, very traditional. And you and I have talked about this a lot. I've ranted about this on different forums at different points in time, because that form of marketing is actually um, let me rephrase. The blind application of that form of marketing is dead. you still need to build brands. You still need to understand what the brand equity is and where the brand is going to go, because if you're not, otherwise, you have no way of deciding what content is on brand and what content is not on brand.
Right.
So how does that brand equity translate into a medium like TikTok, which has literally a 15-second format, and the typical brand manager is looking to make a 30-second TV commercial
Okay,
with
so
beautiful production value.
yeah, so keeping that in perspective and keeping Azra's age in perspective, what I'm going to say is that when I started media planning almost 20 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about making a 60-second to a 180-second commercial, okay, and then adapting it to fit into the client's budget and making sure that the client is getting an X amount of GRPs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what
Yep.
we ended up doing was chopping up the commercial, which was practically a feature film from today's perspective, into
Mm-hmm.
a 7-second tele of certain brands. That's pretty much it. So what
Yep.
I used to call is one of the brands I still remember I used to work on and used to do media planning for. So they would do a 60-second commercial. That was the global standard, and they would stick to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
they had five mandatories. So if I talk about those five mandatories, it's going to give away the brand. I will not do that right now. But the interesting part was by the time we would do and adapt, it would only be those five mandatories left. There is no story. So
Yeah.
if you continue to be stringent about those guidelines
Mm-hmm.
and not offer the story or the
Mm-hmm.
storyline or the product line, you're losing the entire efficacy of your advertising development or the production, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we
Yeah.
talk about planning that. Now, on a 15-second format, if you have an engaged audience and you can communicate your message, so advertisers for the past 30, 40 years have been buying 15-second format on conventional TV. What we are
Yeah.
saying is there's a bigger audience, which is more relevant to a brand, where an accountable medium talks to them directly. Now, this is
Mm-hmm.
on a personal medium. This is a
Mm-hmm.
one-on-one communication on a telephone screen, right? Vertical, horizontal, whichever format you want to look at. But at the same time, you have a personal communication. That message is meant for you. That's why you're seeing it. If your
Yeah.
target is spot on. So if you want to talk to an 18-year-old female on a mobile device, you'd go on TikTok and you'll talk about that product and this one-on-one communication. Not on a TV screen, and TV screens now a 65-inch TV screen in a family room where six people of a family sit and they
Mm-hmm.
watch a commercial. Again, a 15-second commercial meant for each member of the family separately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 1.5 minute in front of a TV screen into 15-second segments of different products. Yes, very good for brand awareness. But if you're selling toothpaste to a geriatric with no teeth or a denture, there's no point in showing that ad to that person, right? But on
Mm-hmm.
digital, on a medium like TikTok, you can actually pinpoint your exact audience and say, look, here's the person I want to talk to. This is how I want to talk to them, and this is when I decide to talk to them. And at the same time, I'm giving them an opportunity to click on that ad and come visit my website if I've been able to effectively communicate my message. Right? That's the key. And that also the context of brand safety. So I'll address it in the same way. So you can
Yeah.
decide what kind of content you want to put your ads on. So moderation is the key,
Mm-hmm.
moderation of the content, and that's being
Mm-hmm.
handled directly now. So it's a
Oh, is that right?
completely
Okay.
that's a completely brand safe environment now, and you can decide what kind of content you want your ad against. So
Amazing.
you don't have
Because
to worry about any of
I
that.
I remember when we were whitelisting YouTube for a particular client. Um, do you remember that nightmare that we had whitelisting YouTube?
Yes,
Oh my God, channel
go
by channel by
viral,
channel.
go
It took,
viral. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Like how long did it take us? 6 months, 4 months,
pretty
something like
much.
that. Yeah. Okay. I have another question. TikTok is widely used in Pakistan, but it does have a stigma, as in not a very big chunk from the upper and upper middle class use TikTok, as I've noticed around me. How do you plan on dealing with that as brands focusing on this? TG wouldn't want to use it.
So there is organic platform growth. It
Mm-hmm.
can also be helped along. And at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, you're talking about we will be sharing numbers of how many active users are on the platform, what kind of segments. So if you're an advertiser, you'll get a full scale of what kind of audience you can target and in what quantity. So you don't have to
Mm.
worry about that anymore. And
Mm.
again, each platform has its own following. It may be more in certain SECs, it may be less in certain SECs, but it does not mean that a platform is not viable to advertisers.
No, I mean, to me, there was always a question around the ability of digital channels to reach the masses. TikTok is truly one, I think, probably the first channel that I'm aware of that is for the masses. And if you really want to keep a finger on the pulse of the country, just tune into TikTok for 20 minutes a day, and you'll get an idea of what the hell is going on. So we've got some other interesting questions coming in.
Yeah.
Bilal says most advertisers in Pakistan are very sales oriented and they have a very tactical mindset. So, how do we measure? So, basically, he's talking about ROI measurement for TikTok on retail.
Yeah. Bilal, it's a little late for you, isn't it? So, Bilal's out of Malaysia.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, uh, tactical mindset is what makes the digital platform perfect. You can instantly measure your ROI. Is your
Yeah.
product available online? Is the action you desire of your advertiser available online? And you can get instant results. So if you're selling, let's say, shampoo, and you're showing a shampoo ad, the person likes the ad, person wants to buy it, that person should be able to click and buy the ad, right? Have
Yeah.
you that enabled? So the onus is more on the advertiser to make sure that their tactical pipeline is in place so that action can be taken immediately rather than saying, hey, I will direct you somewhere else
To a
so you can
landing page,
maybe
to a
like
landing
something.
page where you will register and send me your personal information, and then I will grant you access to my website. And yeah.
Oh, that is for the advanced ones in Pakistan. There are certain advertisers who will take you to another platform where you
Hmm.
can't do anything except for like, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Oh, I
Okay.
see. You mentioned another platform. You should have done this when you were
Yes.
doing that. Okay, fair enough.
You don't need to do quote unquote anymore.
Especially when you talk about other platforms. Sure.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So Hassan is going a little crazy at my end. He's sending through like multiple comments and questions because he says I was one of the people who's whitelisting. Uh, so I remember exactly what that craziness was at at our previous uh, media agency, where you and I both worked. So yeah. So he says that uh, TikTok is still in its very very early stages. So what is the potential for ecom on TikTok?
Oh, there's tons of potential. There's specific products for e-com players. So what you can
Hmm.
do is you can at the end of it, Umar, if I would appreciate it if you can put my email address and people can reach out and
Sure,
we can share more information for advertisers.
sure.
Okay.
I will do that, but is it okay? It's a really difficult email address. Faisal at jackofdigital.com.
Oh,
That's it,
you
right?
can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you please.
I'll change it now as we talk. But please go ahead and answer the question.
Okay, so I did. We do have a lot of products, and when you have an audience, you decide who you want to talk to. You define your goals, and we'll help you build that campaign on the platform to make sure you get the desired results.
Awesome. Uh, can everyone see the? Yeah, there it is. Faisal at jackofdigital.com. Okay. So Faisal, along with TikTok, which is obviously huge news for the media industry as well as for advertisers who are trying to reach that particular target audience, as well as potentially larger streams of revenue for TikTok celebrities and so on, to actually make some serious money on TikTok. I think everyone in the ecosystem should be excited by this, by the opening up of this new ad stream in Pakistan. Along with this, you've also partnered with a very interesting company by the name of Eskebi, which is a European platform That is actually quite quite revolutionary in its own quiet way. Can you please talk to us about Eskimi and what the platform offers?
Okay, so Eskimi is a programmatic full stack platform. So you can start from SSP. So the
Hmm.
supply side is covered. You've got a demand side platform. It can be self-serviced or IO based, and then you have a DMP, data management platform. So nobody in Pakistan has offered all three services in one to any advertiser in the country. So if you decide today that you want to go to a local website, advertise on the local website, you can go through the Scheme platform and advertise on that specific website based on what your agreement with the platform is, with your website is, or the platform. Second, you can go on the exchange and buy it. And if you're very lazy, you can send us an insertion order and we can configure the entire campaign for you. So that's one. What we do on Ischemi is leverage the power of data, not just your pre-buckets available on other platforms, but we give you the option of configuring the audiences the way you want to, including the SEC or LSM platforms. So lifestyle measurement is also available. SEC measurement is also available. Whichever way you want to go, we can help you configure the campaign accordingly. And no other platform in Pakistan right now can even claim that they can do this. We have the data. We can target approximately. If you're not being very choosy about your targeting and you want to go for the broader audience, we can help you target 60 million Pakistanis in a 30-day period. So that's the platform in a nutshell. Again, if you want more details, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll help you through the learning process. And there are a lot of certifications available on the programmatic platform offered by Scheme. If you're interested, please write to us, and we can arrange those sessions for you.
So I think this is really important because I'm getting a number of comments that say, "Hey, can you please email us proposals at this email address and so on?" Could I please request those people to either reach out to Faisal on LinkedIn? He's quite active on LinkedIn, or also email him at this address, Faisal at Jack of Digital, and he will get back to you tomorrow to understand what your needs are, what kind of proposal you're looking for. Is that fair to say, Faisal?
I think that's perfect. Rather than putting their email addresses on the screen and they getting
Yeah.
spammed, let's do it
Yes.
this way.
Yes, I'm doing it more for them than for you. Um, okay, so what next for Faisal and Jack of Digital?
Okay, so we are working on a couple of other projects, and hopefully we should be able to reveal them very soon. And we are also building a platform that will have first-party data available to advertisers, and will allow a lot of brand-related research in online space, and it will give FMCG brands an opportunity to figure out what they need to do without actually going into the mainstream e-commerce business,
Hmm.
without having tested the grounds first on how the product placements, what kind of advertising, and what kind of traffic to expect. So that's something in the works right now. We will be talking about that soon enough.
Interesting. I'm intrigued. And on that note, I think we'll call it a night. It's pretty late. I would like to thank our audience who've been so supportive. People who have stayed up late to hear from Faisal. It really shows, I think, the passion and the level of interest that surrounds the digital space in Pakistan. And I'm I'm so pleased that that so many people have taken the time out of their busy schedules, to, especially on a Friday night, to be with us today. So thank you on behalf of both Faisal and myself.
Thank you, and thank you, Omar, for having me over.
It's always a pleasure, bro. And inshallah, we will talk again soon. To everyone online, thank you again. Have yourselves an awesome day, and we will talk to you soon. Allah Hafiz.